The African Bar Association is the association for lawyers in Africa, and we are disturbed by the events and the news about Burundi crisis. And so at the conference in Zimbabwe, Harare in Zimbabwe in September, the African Bar at the plenary in that conference resolved to visit, to set up a panel to come to Burundi to verify all the facts and allegations that are flying around the international media, that are flying around UN reports and all kinds of reports that have been submitted about Burundi. We felt that as the custodians of law in Africa and as true sons of Africa, rather than taking sides in the crisis or reaching a conclusion when we have not verified, because there were so many claims and conflicting claims, the conference decided that we must visit Burundi. And we are here. We started our visit yesterday. We visited so many places. But where we are now is the party headquarters, where there have been several allegations of torture chambers and torture rooms, some reports, and mass graves. I'm the president of the association. I've led the team here comprising of a council member, and this is the vice president, Mr. Felix Nkogo, is vice president from Cameroon in charge of Central Africa that covers this zone. And we've engaged the party leadership led by the Secretary General and his other assistants and other people working in the office at the Secretariat in various ways. They've made us, they've given us their version of the stories. They've also given us an insight into the genesis of all kinds of problems we have in Burundi and all the efforts our government has made to stabilize Burundi, including the Truth Commission and the Land Commission. And we have visited those places as well, reports which we will give later. And all the efforts that the government of Burundi has made to ensure that Burundi does not slide more than what has happened, and what led to all those crises. And what was most important to us at the Secretariat here, after discussions and hearing from them, was we were very concerned that there were reports of mass graves and torture chambers here. So we asked them to, aided by cameras and other equipments that could help us determine areas where things like that could be. And they led us from room to room, from office to office, and from hall to hall, and everywhere around the compound. We have searched everywhere and we cannot find any mass graves here. We also cannot find any torture chambers here. So we are very, very totally disappointed that on behalf of the African Bar, we are very disappointed that these sort of allegations could be made without even the slightest form of investigation. Because we had asked the party leaders here and those who work here whether people have come here to investigate and check these places out before making these allegations and reports, and the answer was no. So why would any organ of international community or any person at that representing international community or any arm of international community make this kind of allegations or this kind of suggestions, disturbing as we be, without any verification whatsoever? We also asked the ladies and gentlemen here in the Secretariat, very large compound indeed, whether they were approached or spoken to before these reports were written. Unfortunately, their response was that nobody has even bothered to interview them. So reports have been written to the UN, they have been written about Burundi, they have been written about all kinds of things happening in Burundi without even physical verification here. To our mind in the African Bar, this is one of the most disgusting and disappointing situations we have ever found. It's very appalling, and we condemn it in the strongest terms, that people could write reports about a country without evidence. We are indeed very grateful for plenary who adopted the idea that we should come here physically on a fact-finding mission, and what we have found here is mind-boggling, and to say the least, very shameful for reporters of this crisis to have been reporting this dangerous way without coming to Burundi to find out what is happening. We do hope that this is an eye-opener for so many other countries to trust in Africans, to trust in the African Bar Association, to trust in themselves in resolving disputes among themselves. The African Bar Association states strongly today that we are going to take it up seriously to ensure that nothing like this happens in Africa before, where an African nation is judged, an African country is judged, a terrible report is written without any proper verification and without even talking to the people concerned. We take strong exception to it, and we are going to take it up very strongly, and for now onwards, we are going to take on in a very strong way all those behind this kind of dirty game that they play against Africa. Thank you very much.